morning, Chiara. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm very well this morning. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Yes, it's a fantastic beginning of 2023. Can you believe that?
I know. Yeah, already so soon.
COVID is officially 3 years old, right? So that's a joke. So tell me how things going. And our topic for this month is renewal. And as the nature renews, everything else renews with it, and we are discussing renewal. And as you can see in my background, there is quite a few things in there, including human. We are renewing, we are getting energized, we are getting ready for a fantastic new year and fantastic 2023. We have to focus, we have to make sure that we are aligned with our goals, objectives, and all those things. And with Vino and Vision, we will be looking at every single one of them. So as we move forward with this new journey, I welcome you, Chiara, to join us, and she will be joining us all throughout the year. So that's fantastic news to have. Let's get going.
Well, thanks, Milu. I'm so honored to be a part. And, 2023 and renewal. So let's talk a little bit about renewal. You mentioned that in nature, there is continual renewal, but actually there's also continual renewal within us. And if we look at our cell structure, every 7 years or so, the whole body is renewed. It's never static. And this is something that I really like to share with people, because we have our idea about the body and life is quite static and linear. But actually, it's in continual movement, and so is our planet. Within the solar system, it is circulating, going in a circular motion in time space, and so are we. So I feel that the renewal is an important topic, not just because it's the beginning of the year, but it's an important topic because it will allow us to expand our thinking into knowing that we're dynamic and not static and linear, which I think is super important.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Is a dynamic nature, right?
Yes.
And everything that is around us is already changing, already growing, already a different vibe that we can feel, right? So just the theme of renewal, as you can see, that beginning the first day in midnight, this balloon drop happens and ball drop happens, all those lights and all those glamour that happen, champagne and other things that we cheer this new year. We have and we teach that in Vino and Vision. We call a reward pathway. Our mind is very focused on that. When it gets rewarded,
yes,
it start opening that pathway. So the pathway, the way it works is by counting down that number to 0 and Happy New Year is that moment that we are saying that we are new.
Yes.
It's a rebirth. So we are new, means we are now rewarding ourselves with saying all the past is gone, all the problematic our issues that we have faced is gone. Now we are renewing, and we are reborn in an environment that can give us hope, that can give us future, that can give us all the new things to come. So the reward pathway start opening up. And as it open up, it creates a lot of new things and a lot of new opportunity for us to enjoy and for us to celebrate. So the key lesson from this is our mind controls our destiny. Our mind controls our destiny. By opening that reward pathway, now we are suddenly thinking everything changed. Actually, it's just one day after another. But our mind is the one that gives us that benefit of the newness. And when that happens, everything changes. So that's when controlling your mind is what we excel in coaching. And as a coach, you, as a coachee, controls your mind. And as a coach, we help you to open that. Simple as that. You can be a life coach, you can be a leadership coach, you can be a wellness coach, you can be a holistic coach, whatever you are. But the moment the reward pathway, we can open that pathway for you with a professional help, which is professional coaching help. We open that pathway for you. That opens new possibilities, that opens your dream. So, and I will go into that in a moment, but Chiara, what do you feel about that?
So thank you for sharing. I want to backtrack just a little bit and talk about our views about what the new year mean to us. We were talking about the bell drop and the champagne and also the mindset that we have. I think this is important. I think that the new year has been somewhat commercialized. And so for us to understand it at a deeper level, it's to ask ourselves the questions of what does it mean to us? And what beliefs do we have? Because it is about our mind. It is about why is it at this point that we're changing and renewing, when in actuality, in nature, we're always changing and renewing. And the coaching practice, as a life coach or any type of professional coach for leadership, it is our responsibility, I believe, to be able to guide our coachees to understand that renewal happens continuously, and looking at it from this perspective, when things present themselves that challenge our belief system, that challenge what we think, how we think and why we think that, I think that should be something to be celebrated. So the champagne should be there and the celebration should be there for renewal throughout the seasons of the year, throughout the seasons of life where we're at within that time frame that we have given. So that's something I wanted to bring to light. And also about the bringing of life. You know, I think this time is also a rebirth of ideas, rebirth of understanding ourselves with a new lens. And I think that's what coaching really facilitates, that is to open up, as you said, to open up ideas and the ability to see things through a new lens. Because when we begin to do that, that's when we grow. And I feel that when we stop growing, we stop renewing, that's when we need to sit back and understand why. So I feel that renewal is an important aspect of being human, and to look at it from a holistic, whole being perspective. So that's what my thoughts are.
Yes, and if we look at this way, so just think about renewal is not what it's not, right? Renewal is not end. So
Correct.
it's not the end, is renewal, right? It's the continual aspect of it. It's the ongoing in a different way, renew, right? So what Vino and Vision doing is we have this which is will be coming after February, which is starting March. We'll be doing aspiration, vision, and dream. That's the strategic mindset domain for us, dimension, strategic mindset. So we need to focus on creating a strategy of this new thing that we are been awarded with, called a new year. Everybody that are listening right now, or everybody in this world that are breathing right now, has been rewarded with a new year and a new beginning. And this is what we have to follow, is a strategic mindset of going about it, creating a plan, creating a vision, creating a where you're going to go. And with the strategic mindset, we focus on aspirations, vision, and dream. Dream is a huge area of discussion, and as you know, when you and I will be discussing dream in later on this year, we'll be discussing that. But there is 3 layers of mind that we talk about in dreams, called conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, and how to communicate through that, how to get things out of unconscious to bring it to the conscious level in coaching way. And that's fascinating because that becomes what becomes in the dream a reality. Now, the dream that we talk about is not the dream that you go to sleep and dream about, right? It's deeper than that. It's not the dream that you also talk about, I have a dream. That's not the dream we talk about. We talk about something that is unconscious in your unconscious mind, continuously running. We talk about that dream, how to dig into that dream, the unconscious mind, and the vast possibility in the unconscious mind. So we don't want to go into the deeper into the dream section. It's very controversial, at the same time it's very energetic and very enjoyable journey. But at the same time, with the rebirth and renewal, that's where we need to start focusing on a strategic mindset. I mean, create a strategy. What is your plan for 2023? Where you want to see yourself end of 2023? So if today is December 31st, 2023, which is 2024 is coming, where do you see yourself? So create that map, create that GPS, set that destination now. That's where coaching comes very helpful, especially for people who are in business and they want to do business planning, right? So that's become also very important for them. For us, it's become, for anybody, individuals, becomes important about what is matter to you, what is the important to you, and why should you do what you do every single day, and where should you get, and where should you achieve a year from now, right? So that destination need to be set now. This month is that renewal month, is to focus on that.
So I want to add, if I may, something.
Sure.
I feel like often we think about what we might aspire to do, what we want to renew, what our roadmap is, and marrying it or aligning it with our heart's desire, I think is important, because we can think something and we can cognitively do all that we need to do. At the same time, if it's not in resonance with what we believe and what we at the heart level believe, then we have an incongruency. And I like to spend time with people disentangling that, understanding what that is, because there is the renewal right there. Because if we're able to have a congruence, an alignment between what we think and what we feel, now the doing piece with our hands, literally, and physical reality is quite phenomenal. And, is astounding how when we do that, what the results can be. So I do feel that that's an important piece to your renewal phrase.
And fantastic, how we think alike, how we, and how we differentiate among each other, right? So the key thing you are talking about, the heart, and as we venture through the Vino and Vision coaching model, in the 3rd dimension, we talk about self-love, love, and happiness, right? So just think about that for a second. The heart is center of all of it.
It is.
Exactly. And what is your heart's desire? What do you want to do? Yes. Right? And that's the question we need to stop and ask first. but it also have to be cognizant of, just because your heart telling you to do something don't mean that's the right thing to do. And that's where the coaching come to play, is now you need to work with somebody who is a coach, who can play it back to you, who can repeat it, who can use the techniques to show you the other side, show you or open those reward pathways or signals in your brain to say, is that the right thing to do?
This is interesting because
Yes.
there's a time for everything, I believe. And
Mhm.
so, even for example, if our heart's desire is to do something and the timing is not quite there, then as coaches, we're able to begin to navigate what are the belief systems in the way of that?
Mhm.
What do we need to disentangle and to bring to light so that the timing when it's right, that opening will be there and there will be this knowing. So we're building the intuitive piece within us. And I feel that's important because it's a part of who we are as humans. And we all have the ability to basically use our heart to support us because, as we've said in previous coffee with the coach sessions, for want of a better term in terms of sessions, it's a bottom-up approach. So the heart registers before the brain. So if we use this, and it really is a dance and it's a rhythm, then we can begin to open ourselves up to something else about who we are. And I think that is key to growth personally.
Exactly what you mentioned is, so as you know that Vino and Vision is the holistic brain approach, which is left and right? So the logical brain interacts with the creative brain and then come to a conclusion of what is the right thing to do. So in the presence of heart is the emotional side of the uh, uh, um, our mind, which is the emotion interacts with our heart. So I'll give you some example to validate that. So for example, if you are going to eat a donut and you're looking at that and your emotions saying let's eat it, heart saying that's the right thing, I love donut and I love to eat that. But then your logical sense kick in and say, well, is that physically healthy for you? Right? And the same times your creative side come and talks to you and say, okay, maybe half of the donut will do good for you today. Or maybe quarter of it, means you're not losing anything, you're eating something. Right? So is in the example of the 3 points, heart and the holistic brain combining approach where desire and emotion can interact with logic and creativity, it's a very it's even much more holistic approach than I can think of, is when you can bring all those 3 components together and deciding what is right for you. And as a coach, that's what we do, right? We open the channels that you never thought about and then question your thinking process. And we are sometimes devil's advocate, right? We give you the scenario as to see what is possible, what is not possible, and we want to make sure that you are the one making the decision for you. But we want to make sure you're making the right decision, because right decision is the one takes you there. So yes, following the heart is important. So is holistic brain approach is important. The main thing about is a combination approach with the mirror theory, where somebody else can reflect it for you, right? Not just deciding by yourself. You have a reflection. You are also running it by somebody else who is the opposite thinking of you, and giving you that devil's advocate scenario, giving you the consultative hat, giving you the mentoring side. So coaching is combination of a lot of things, and we use 8 different hats there, right? And it also opens the uh, uh, philosophy and psychological side. And when the philosophy comes, the psychological side gets challenged. That's why they're two different sciences, social sciences, because psychology and philosophy, even though they go hand to hand, they are not same thing. So philosophy will come and tell you things that are sometimes maybe unreal. Psychology will say, oh, this is unreal. But guess what? Unreal thing is real, and it can
Well,
become real.
it
It's
is,
very fascinating, isn't it?
psychology really is the study of the soul. That's what psychology means. But I haven't seen the study of the soul within it. So that's an interesting, it's true. It's an interesting dichotomy right there.
Yes, yes,
But, I want to weave a few thoughts, if I can,
sure.
what you were saying. And I call it organic thinking.
Mhm.
And I actually have a video on my page, my YouTube page, about organic thinking, and it really talks about what we're saying, that threefold process that Rudolf Steiner talks about, which is the feeling side, and it's a circle in the center, and then you have the cognitive side on the left, which is overlapping the feeling side, which is the heart, and then you have the viewing piece, which is what I was talking about before. And again, they're all interrelated via the heart. And I feel like, deciphering and discernment is really important in this day and age. And as coaches, I feel it's like, as I coach for my clients, it's my responsibility to support my clients to begin to discern impulses from belief systems, from feelings, from cognitive processes that have been ingrained because it's the norm, which goes back to belief systems. And so that helps support to make the right choices and decisions based on economic climate, if it's for business, based on other factors, if it's for personal, so that we can bring a strategy and a roadmap, like you said before, that is holistic and is whole person view, the whole being, as opposed to one section of it. So I think that's really important to reiterate, because yes, I agree. It's very much a holistic, three-pronged approach,
Mhm.
which, as I said, I call organic thinking, and it's the threefold system by Rudolf Steiner, which I absolutely adore. I adore Rudolf Steiner.
Exactly, and the strategies mindset is the opening of your thinking and thought process as well. So, say for example, somebody feels like this is their strength, whatever it is, sales, marketing, business, uh, teaching, or whatever it is, and this thinks this is their strength, and we have seen that. We have seen people go to American Idol and go to in front of the judges and say, I can sing, right? I can sing, and I can sing very well. And then they start singing, and then we know the judges budge, and all three of them, right? So that, no, you cannot. You need to get a different job. So the
But these are
the, the
biases, I feel.
right,
They're biases that you're
yeah.
sharing, which I think is a very important piece, because the bias allows us to believe something that does not have
Mhm.
groundedness, is the wording I would use. Grounded in,
Perfectly said, yes.
and so it's there to teach us. We're not judging here, but what I feel it is, it's there to teach us to think well. It's something that we're not taught how to do, is how to think. We're taught all sorts of knowledgeable facts and everything, but how to think, we're not taught how to do that well. And it's quite astounding, actually. I thought that would be like the most important thing, as you're growing, how to think. But
Right, how to think, right?
yeah, so these biases tend to weave themselves, or worm themselves into our psyche, because that's what we want to do. That's what we want to believe about ourselves, but it's not grounded, and it's an illusion. And it's funny because I was thinking about illusions this morning, and here we are dialoguing about them already.
The illusion is the key, and as you know, magicians use illusion a lot, and that can tell you that magic is, even though it's scientific, it's not real.
Well,
That's,
this is
that's what they do, the elation they
yes.
create in front of us to say, look, I just chopped up your legs. And look, this is the illusion. This person just lost their legs and they're, they must be dead. But then you see they combine that and suddenly that person getting up and walking, and that's the illusion. So that's a fantastic way of saying that. Yeah.
Well, these are all optical illusions. So,
Right.
if you put two a curved, and there was a special kind of curvature to it, two curved uh, things next to each other if they're cardboard, but there's a special type of curvature to it, like I said. And you put them side by side, one looks smaller than the other, but when you put them one on top of the other, they're exactly the same size.
Yeah.
So then this brings to light, like, what are we seeing and not seeing based on the biases and illusions we tell ourselves? Because if it's that simple, then we're surrounded by them. And there's the discernment that we were talking about before with the organic thinking, with the right thinking, to
Right.
be able to decipher and to sift what is grounded and what is not for us personally through our truth mechanism. And it's actually the heart with the brain, provided that it has been calibrated well, that it's grounded, because it's really important to be able to do that for ourselves and for others.
Yes, yes, and that's why coaching is so rewarding, because coaching is, helping people every single day and getting to that, satisfaction that somebody made the decision themselves, even though we have done our best. It can happen, right? And that's the satisfaction that we have done our best. And in coaching, that's what we do. We open the mind to possibilities, open to mind to impossible. And I was just looking at, and I don't know who posted that and where I saw that. It may be LinkedIn, it may be Facebook. I have seen that somebody was saying that we are living the Jetson lifestyle. And they may have taught us some things like virtual calls, uh, doing exercise at home, looking at TV, right? Or virtual interactive things. In Jetson lifestyle, where there you see the cars flying and all those things, that is that we have seen long time ago. And now it's becoming real. And like, for example, a Star Trek movie, we saw flip phones long time ago, and the flip phone is in the past now, and it's reality. And you see how they are sitting and using virtual conversation with a bunch of people from all over the planetary system, and how we are doing this in all over the country. So these are the human thought process that takes us to the future, that is not real right now, that are not possible right now, is going to be possible someday.
And
And
this
that's
is important.
yes, it is very important. There's just
Our
like
discussion on renewal, because what we think we're able to do at this moment in time is very different to as we're moving through time and space. As
yes,
expansion of the universe is always continual, so are we, unless we get stuck. And so renewal of our mind, our body, and our experience is important. At the same time, I do want to say that connection and renewal are very important. I just did a video about social media and the tidbits that social media gives us. Although it's helpful, as a coach, I know that to go deeper is important. And I did that video because I wanted to share my thoughts on it. At the same time, with regards to renewal and how we approach, what we've been talking about, the illusions, the biases, is very important, and guidance to facilitate us through that is equally important.
yes, yes. And as you mentioned about that, this topic is opening our month for January, focusing on all 2023. We are doing the same thing in our Vino and Vision, all our coaches, affiliates, and everybody. We are focusing on building a plan for 2023 and where we want to be, right? So similar thing, everybody should be doing that and making sure they're taking their steps and actions to move forward. And surprisingly, next month we are picking up our topic, and guess what is the topic is for next month?
You know.
It's February, Chiara. What is February famous for, right? So, month of love.
Yes, it is.
And
Absolutely.
next month we will be talking about that heart center approach.
Exciting.
Yes, and that will be fascinating, right? So we'll be talking about love. Love is a relationship between, not only self-love is with yourself, but love is with others.
It's my favorite topic because it's about connection, and that's my favorite topic.
Fantastic. And we are setting that stage for next month. So we will be seeing you again next month, and we'll be discussing your favorite topics.
Yes.
Love. Yes. And I'm looking forward to it. So Chiara, thank you very much for starting this new year with me and with Vino and Vision, and a new beginning for all of us. And let's not only hope, but also plan.
Yes, absolutely.
Be successful year for all of us all over the world, wherever you are, right? So enjoy the benefit of 2023. It's a gift that was given to all of us, and whoever is now here and all over the world, celebrate 2023, a new beginning, renewal. And
yes, I agree.
yes, and the journey that we will continue to see and unfold. Thank you very much, Chiara, and I am going to see you next year. Sorry, next month. I'm already moving into 2024.
That fast.
Yes, so thank you again, and we will see you in February.
See you in February. Thanks, Milu.
Take care.